To the Lab 7 walkthrough. It's been a minute since I did one of these just because Lab 6 and finals and everything, it gets a little crazy. I appreciate y'all's patience with that. So, let me give you a brief overview of how this is going to go, and then we'll hop right into it, okay? So, to begin, we're just going to walk through the entire Lab 7 lab. We'll be doing some work in NetLogo, switching back and forth between NetLogo and R Studio. I've got them all open on the same window, so hopefully everything's gonna work correctly and it'll all be recording for you. We've got the lab assignment sheets opened up on a different screen. Yeah, so what are we doing in this lab? We're modeling fire spread, and we're using NetLogo to do it. And if we look at the start of the lab, it tells us a little bit about how NetLogo is doing it, right? So we're going to skip over a little bit in the background about what NetLogo is, and we're going to talk about the cellular automata models, right? And so the cellular automata models are the type of model that we're using, and it's used to model random spreads of things throughout a population, right? The best way I can kind of talk about this is if we all think back to the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were talking about exponential spread. And the way that scientists, epidemiologists, doctors, folks in the medical community come up with those figures and with those rates of exchange are through modeling that sometimes looks like what we're doing in NetLogo. So it's a really powerful tool. It's pretty simple, fairly approachable. And overall, it's going to work pretty well for us. So the way we're going to run our model is we have vegetation cells. They can catch fire, and a vegetation cell that's burning can ignite anything next to it. And once it burns, it's extinct. Now, empty cells contain no vegetation, so therefore fire can't spread. I think the easiest way to think of this is as if it was just an actual forest, right? The closer together the trees are, the denser the trees are, the more that's going to burn because the easier it is for fire to spread to new fuel sources. But the more sparsely populated it is, the harder it can be for it to spread, right? So let's hop into it. So obviously we already have downloaded NetLogo, got it right over here. For our first model, we're going to go to the menu, we're going to go to File, we're going to go to Open. Okay. It's going to pull up this, it's going to go to my downloads. So we're going to skip past that inappropriately named little folder I got going on there. We're going to grab Lab 7 data. Nope, that's not it. We're going to keep going until Liam finds where he put this. We're actually going to go to Environmental Change Labs. We're going to go to Lab 7. And then we're going to do Fire Models Zip. Okay, so now we're going to do Fire Model and Logo 1. So this fire model zip, you guys are going to have to expand that out before you start up in NetLogo. You'll expand that out and it'll yield this folder with 3 fire models in it. We're going to open fire model 1 in there. Okay, and it's going to come up with this. Well, that's just fine by us. Okay, now, moving on. The next step that we need to do is set the density to 60. Already set. We're going to click the setup button, and then we're going to click the go button. Okay, so setup creates our forest, right? And so what you're seeing here is what we were just talking about, right? This is a fairly dense forest, right? So we're going to have a pretty hefty fire spread. You can see here, yeah, fire spread quite a bit. Let's try this again. Let's try it with 100% density. Setup. It's now a green screen. There you go. It burned 100% because it had spaces to burn. There was never a spot where the fire couldn't spread to. Now let's try something like 18. Right? And if we set that up again, a couple of runs, and you'll see it's just not spreading very much. So that's kind of what we're talking about with the density of the fire model. Okay? Perfect. Now we're moving on to the second fire model. So we're going to go back to File. We're going to go to Open. We're going to upload fire model 2. Okay. Now, bigger study area. 2 histographs over here telling us a bit about what's going on. And ignition has been randomized with 75% possibility. And we also have fire extinction. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. So one thing that fire extinction does for us is it allows us to set a point when the fire won't burn any longer. So it's not like it's just continually searching for areas to burn. Okay? So we're going to run the model with 4 different conditions. Okay? We're going to start off with density at 25, and extinction at 0.2. Okay, set up, go. Yeah, didn't burn very much. Can't even really see it. Set it up again. A little bit of burn there, right? So it burned a little bit. Percentage burned, fairly minimal. Okay. Now we're going to do density at 90, extinction at 0.2. Okay. Set that guy up. Go. So behind it, you see, now we're modeling fire extinction, right? So when a fire is actually burning, there's the fire front, and that's where the fire is burning, right? That's where it's burning new vegetation and the fire is spreading. The area behind it is often the area that it's already burned. It's already fire. It's extinguished, right? It's extinct fire. It's actually like smoke jumpers. Those guys tend to go into those areas to put out more of the fires and things like that. Anyways, moving on. Now we need to do extinction at 0.5, and we're going to leave the density at 75. So this time we're controlling density. We're holding density constant, and we're seeing what happens with extinction. Okay. Set up. Go. Okay. Extinction didn't yield very much. Now let's try extinction at 0.9. Still not very much going on. Okay? Got accurate outputs. Now, we're going to randomize and run this model a bunch of times to give us good setups for it. Okay? So, we're going to go to menu. We're going to go to tools. We're going to go to BehaviorSpace. Okay? Now I'm going to say new. Walkthrough 1. Okay? I'm going to set the density to 80. Okay? And the extinction to 0.2. Okay? Repetitions, I'm going to set it at 100. Variable reported is not count turtles, it's actually percent burned. Percent burned. Okay, uncheck measure runs at every step. Okay, run. I do not want to update viewer, update plots, and monitors every time. It's going to just run it a little bit faster. We're going to click OK. We're going to actually save this guy to, yeah, we'll do fire models. So, fire model 2, walkthrough 1, spreadsheet, CSV. Okay, save. Save. So we want a table and a C in the spreadsheet. And now it's running. We're already on run 13. Just going to churn through these bad boys. We'll take a quick commercial break. Be right back with more on the Honors 3245 YouTube walkthrough. And we're back. Okay, so that walkthrough has been run. Now we're going to close out BehaviorSpace. I'm going to come over here to R Studio. Okay, I'm going to create a new R script. Actually, I don't want to do that. I just want a new R script. Okay, perfect. So now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to expand this window just a bit so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. I'm going to start up here in the script editor. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to first off set our working directory. So session, set working directory, choose directory. We're going to come to environmental change. We're going to go to fire models. Okay, now we're going to double check plot and files. And right now you got fire model 2, walkthrough 1, fire model 2, walkthrough 1. Okay, so here's what we're going to do for our first code. Okay, we're going to do output equals read dot table fire model 2 walk through 1 table dot CSV comma skip equals 6 comma header equals true, separate equals okay. Take that guy, copy paste it. Okay, create our output here. 100 observations of 5 variables. We're going to create a histogram of that. We're also going to get the average of those. So we're going to create 2 new lines of code. We're going to start with hist output percent burned xlab equals percent burned. Okay, mean output percent burned. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, output not found. Alright. And so here's what happened, guys. So output not found is because I defined output as output. So there's 2 things I can do here. I'm actually going to do this the cheat way. I'm actually just going to not spell that correctly. So what I did there is I spelled output without the T. I changed that to match. And it worked. So see what I mean? So it's not the end of the day if you do have some misspellings there. But let's fix that just for clarity's sake. Output. Okay. So now we're going to put all that in there. Put all this in there. And it created the same exact thing. Okay. Now, we're going to do a sensitivity analysis in NetLogo. It's good stuff, guys. Good stuff. BehaviorSpace. We do that by accessing the menu, clicking on Tools. Experiment name. It would be Experiment 2 for you guys, but it's actually going to be Walkthrough 2 for me because I'm cool like that. You could also name it things like Liam is the greatest TA ever 2. It's really up to you. Okay. Density equals 10, 10, 90 with brackets around it. 10, 10, 90 with another set of brackets. Extinction equals 0.2. Repetitions equals 100. Oh, I don't want that. Okay. Repetitions equals 100%. Burned. Okay. Just double checking real quick on the experiment 2 setup. Sweet. Okay, everything's looking good. Okay, percent burn. Sweet. Okay. All right, we're gonna run walkthrough 2. We have 900 runs to do, guys. Simultaneous runs in parallel. Save that boy. Save that boy. Sweet. If I wanted to, it would be updating the view, updating plots and monitors, but I really don't want to because I want this to run a little bit faster. Oh, all right. So this guy's running it through. We've got one more experiment to run after this, and then we are home free, folks. So by putting it in brackets, it's just telling it to run it with each of those a certain number of times. The mechanics of it are, they're there. Oh boy, we're on run 170 of 900. pretty great. Now for our regularly scheduled advertising. I don't have sponsors, so I don't make money on this. Well, I kind of do, but kind of don't. It'd be really awful if this wasn't recording right now. It'd be really, really awful. I have a corgi here. You guys have met him. And he gave me a very salty look about the fact that I am showing this more attention than I currently am to y'all. We're on 603. Oh, look at that. We've almost cracked 700, folks. At my stress level. So after this, so essentially we're repeating the process we did with experiment 1, right? So after this, we're going to run some code in R. I know some of you have been having some issues with getting code to work in R. If I haven't already gotten back to you via email, I will be soon, and then I'll probably just be sending you fresh R script there. That usually seems to solve most of the issues. Oh boy, guys. Oh boy. I think it was Hope who told me that at one point her Mac sounded like it was an airplane trying to take off. And I felt a distinct shift in the airflow of this room as my computer struggles to run the last one of these. So close, guys. So close. Oh, these are the fun ones. Look at that. Look at that. That's satisfying to watch, isn't it? Watch the plots, monitors. I like that sort of thing, even if it takes me a little bit longer. Okay. Now, back to R. Gonna start a new little thing here. We're going to do output. So we're redefining the output variable, read.table. We're telling it what specific table to read this time, fire model 2. And it looks like in the let's reset the session here. Okay, there we go. So one thing you guys might need to double check is just resetting your working directory to basically account for the fact that it's updated, right? So what I did there is because it wasn't displaying some of the CSVs over here, I reset the working directory to get things working correctly. So I need to make sure my name matches it. So fire model 2, walkthrough 2 dash, let's see what we got. Table.csv, comma, skip equals 6. Duh, what else would it equal? Header equals true. I mean, come on, this is baby stuff. Separate equals, comma. That's not a comma. Okay, nice. Box plot. Percent burned. Density. We gotta make sure we get that nice squiggly line in there, guys. Otherwise, it's all gonna go to shit. If I I was at BYU, I couldn't say that. Error and eval, object, percent burned, not found. Okay. Well, let's take a look here. So output has been redefined, so that one's good. So it's going to be an issue here. It's not liking my percent burned variable, folks. What if I did it as percent burned? How do you like that, R? Okay, percent not found. Okay. Percent dot burned. How about that? Okay, now how about that? There we go. Alright, well, I'm not sure what happened there, guys, but I played around with the syntax long enough to make it work. And we got our box plot here, so that's all that really matters. So, alright, now we're going to do another experiment, and I'm just going to pull this guy up, experiment 3 that I've already run. I'm going to show you guys how it looks. We're going to set density to 90, extinction to 0.05, 0.05, 0.045. Oh, excuse me, 0.45. 100% burned. Okay. We're going to duplicate that experiment. We're going to do is walk through 3, run. I'm going to keep spreadsheet and table output. Fire models, and we're off to the races, folks. And now, for a word from our sponsors. That's it. That's all the sponsors have to say. I really did seriously consider playing music while I did this, but I didn't know how it would sound to you guys on the other end, so you can be grateful for that. Oh, look at that. Jeepers, Frank. Or is it Fred? It's Fred. Oh, I forgot. Wow. Jeepers, Fred. Let's run 300. And there's that airplane taking off again. Alright, folks. Now you get to hear my lovely, somewhat nasally, if anything, unique voice. We'll call it unique. I think unique is the kind way of putting it. Anyways, so walkthrough 3 is done. Hooray! Now it's time to do some more work in R. Aren't we excited? Okay, output. Don't forget the T. Equals read dot table. Okay, fire model 2. Experiment 3. Table dot CSV. Now, before I go any further, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to double check. I'm going to make sure I have those files displayed. I don't yet, okay? So I need to update that guy. Oh, so now here's what we're going to do. We're going to reset. We're going to reset our... Nope, that's not how I wanted to do it. I actually wanted to come here. Set working directory. Choose directory. We're going to set it to here. Okay, and that gives us all of our fire models. Everything's looking good. Fire model. Walk through 3. Okay. Skip equals, what could it be? It equals 6. In French, it's 6. I think that's in Spanish too. I don't know. I took French, not Spanish. I won't pretend to know what it looks like in Spanish. Okay, all that's set up. We're gonna come down here, box plot, %burned, extinction output, and see, maybe. Oh, it helps if you spell box plot correctly too, folks. Oh, by the way, I've never had ramen before last week, and I actually tried it. It was very, very good. And look at that. We got our box plot over there. Okay, everybody. I'm going to run the model, the third model real quick, which gives us our wind resistance factor. But you're pretty much set from here with the labs. So if you want to log off, that's totally cool as well. All right, fire model 3. All right. 0.4, 0.75, 0.4, 0.1, all set up, density is 80. Okay. Now what this is showing us is essentially if the prevailing wind is pushing us to the east, it's going to burn that way. Okay. Folks, it's been my pleasure. And before I sign off, I really do want to thank you all for being an incredible class. It was a highlight of my week, getting to work with you guys, whether it was on office hours or in the labs. You guys have been incredibly patient with me as I've tried to find solutions for problems we were working through, and some of you have been quite ingenious with finding solutions on your own. So thank you all for that. It was my pleasure being your TA this semester. I do have one more semester at the U, so if you ever need something, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'd be happy to do whatever I can for you. And yeah, please stay safe out there, guys. If you can, get your COVID vaccine soon, and enjoy it. Enjoy your life. Take care, folks.